system in play that is truly spectacular, and it gets better. The season, as it goes on, he adds more. Teams get better. By the end of the year, you saw last year, they're terrific.
Already bodies hitting the deck in the opening seconds of this one. Final game of day one. Maui Jim Maui Invitational, Michigan and LSU, a Big Ten SEC matchup. Wolverines controlling first, and here is Wagner. Can't hit now, 1 of 11 from out there here to start the season.
He wasn't ready. He was stepping back. He would have been better off just accepting and shooting a 2 as opposed to getting behind the line.
Here's LSU. They come into this one 2-0 on the season with wins over Alcorn State and Samford. All they're doing, averaging 102 points per outing.
I love their team. Like this kid here, Reith, can go on the block. Perth, Australia, just tough, long, skilled.
Able to get that shot to go. Reith, one of 5 returning players for this Tigers squad, averaging 11.5 points and 4 rebounds per game under first-year head coach Will Wade. Comes over from VCU, who ironically is also in the tournament. Straight on 3 by Muhammad Ali Abdul Rahman, and that one trickles off the iron, but Michigan will get another stab at it.
Yeah, Charles Matthews, transfer for Kentucky, has been terrific for the Wolverines. He was great last year in practice, athletic, can go get his own shot.
And here's a poke away from behind, but Wagner able to get it back. Finishes with the left off the glass, part of what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely, he can use both hands. Waters made a great play, came up from behind. They just weren't able to get it. And the great thing about Wagner is he has terrific awareness. He got it and immediately understood he could get to the rim.
A junior from Berlin, Germany, tested the waters of the NBA draft last year. Here's Brandon Sampson from the corner as he falls to the floor in front of the Michigan bench. He's able to drill the 3. He's second on the team, averaging 15 points a game.
Sampson, terrific. Athletic at 6'5". You saw that he can shoot the basketball. Is a solid defender. Long. He's going to stay. He will not leave number 22 Robinson.
Here's Charles Matthews, the aforementioned transfer from Kentucky. With 2 on the shot clock, and they're not going to be able to get a shot up. LSU with the defensive stand.
I'll tell you what, and they did it individually, meaning Will Wade, you see him right there from VCU. He has taught his guys that you have to take pride in your man. On that possession, Robinson worked the top of the key where he likes to get a lot of jump shots, and he couldn't get it because Sampson swarmed him. At the end of the possession, Matthews was swarmed. Individual defense key for LSU.
Tremont Waters stepped back. How about the soft touch?
I love him. He came out with 27 in his first game, had a bad ankle, didn't start the second game, but had 8 assists, no turnovers against Samford, who's picked second in the Southern. Here we go.
Nice little juke move by Wagner, but he misses from point-blank range.
That's his thing. Middle of the court. He likes to go behind his back. You take that away, he just goes to the rim. Got to make it.
And a foul on the baseline is Skylar Mays, the 6'4 sophomore from right there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, gets fouled. Taking a look at John Beilein in his 11th season atop the Michigan program. Filled a couple of staff vacancies this year with a couple of coaches that he picked from the Illinois State staff under Dan Muller, DeAndre Haynes, and Luke Yaklich.
Well, Haynes was a great player out of Detroit at Kent State. I mean, he was absolutely a bear. Jeff Meyer went to Butler.
Left corner 3, Matthews drills it.
I tell you what, if Matthews can get consistent with the jump shot, Michigan will be as good as any in the Big Ten. They have all the pieces. They just need to have another guy on the wing that can shoot it consistently.
The sophomore from Chicago. I mean, there are some people that are comparing him, at least in terms of a projection, to maybe being a bit of a blend of Glenn Robinson III and Tim Hardaway Jr., but that will take, obviously, some development. But he is a good-looking athlete and a fantastic defender as well on the ball.
Yeah, and what Matthews is what he has to be able to do that those two guys became really deft at is shooting the basketball. Glenn Robinson was an under-recruited kid. Glenn Robinson III was an under-recruited kid, and he just worked and worked and worked out of Lake Central, Indiana, and became a pro. And Hardaway was kind of Robinson was not recruited. Hardaway was a little bit recruited.
Tremont Waters called for the mishandle, the carrying violation. 5'11" freshman from New Haven, Connecticut. Signed with LSU, and head coach Will Wade in early June. Was a 4-star recruit out of Notre Dame High School over there. Number 32 ranked by ESPN, but an important recruit because he was a point guard.
Huge. You know, you're starting a program, you want to get things going. You need somebody that comes in with you that's going to share your mentality for 4 years, and Waters is that guy.
We got a whistle away from the basketball, and it's Brandon Sampson getting a little too tight to Duncan Robinson. So just over 4 minutes in, and LSU up 3 here in Lahaina.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Maui Visitors and Convention Bureau and visitmaui.com. And the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, everywhere.
Welcome back. LSU up 3 here in the early portion of this final game of day 1 of the Maui Jim Maui Invitational. Take a look at the bioblast of Will Wade, second youngest head coach at a Power 5 conference school. You see the previous stops, 2 years at Chattanooga as head coach, 2 years at VCU as head coach, made a couple of NCAA appearances there, was named the LSU head coach back on March 22nd of this year. And here's the list of the youngest NCAA head coaches in major conference programs. David Padgett, who just took over at Louisville, just narrowly defeating Will Wade in that regard.
Yeah, socks older than Padgett. I had a chance to talk to David Padgett, and you know what? Will Wade, let me talk about him for a second. I was so impressed by his intensity and his staff. You and I were just talking about it. Greg Heyer, who was a fantastic junior college coach. They are intense, they are after players, and I'll tell you what, you can see based on how they are defending, there is a lot of buy-in by the players of LSU.
And that one out of bounds goes to the Tigers. Yeah, Will Wade, just 34 years of age, will turn 35 actually on Sunday. But a tireless recruiter and just one of those young, energized head coaches.
I asked him last night, you know, where did you get it from to be so demanding? He said his mom. His mom was a teacher. There were no way out in his family. You messed up. It wasn't the teacher's fault. It was your fault. And he kind of carried that with him his whole life and into his coaching career.
See what he has done from a win-loss record standpoint. He is so tireless, he actually has a running streak going. Yes, he runs 1 mile every day. He said when they came into town on Friday, didn't really have much time to get outside to run, so he just went to the hotel fitness room and jumped on the treadmill. But he has gone with the 1 mile run per day every day since January of 2015. So he's well over 1,000 straight days.
I'm embarrassed for him. I did 3 miles today, and I am fat, bald, and old. No, that's pretty. If you did.
Well, then I'm really embarrassed for myself because I didn't do any of that.
I don't think what I do is wrong. Great back cut.
Yeah, missing the layup on the reverse, though, was Duncan Robinson, and then Wade Sims hits the deck hard.
I know what John Beeline's a great coach. Duncan Robinson has been played by a defender who is on top of him, meaning his body is between Robinson and the basketball. So John Beilein called for a back cut where Robinson sets him up 1 step away from the basket and back cuts to the basket. It's just a little thing during a game that sets things up for later when Robinson now maybe can get free because of the back cut.
Wagner picking up the foul on that exchange. That's his first. So Tigers basketball up 3 here. Just over 5 minutes into this one. Here's Waters. Gets it over to Brandon Rochelle, who just checked in moments ago. 3-ball from the left corner. Did a tour, but Aaron Epps able to knock it down. 6'10" senior from Ball, Louisiana.
Aaron Epps has been plagued by injuries throughout his career. But look at that steal. That's a bad call. That is great defense.
A near rip by Tremont Waters, but he does get called for the reach-in.
Oh, man, this is nice. A little swing. I don't think that John Teskey was sure about the scouting report on Epps. And you can see Will Wade needs a senior. You know, we talked about seniors in the first game. Farrell, Bonzie Colson, he needs a senior in Epps. to help lead this team, and while leading, make some plays.
We're also learning that is a fairly forgiving rim at that end. Yes.
The glove.
It has what we would refer to around here as the aloha spirit. Very giving.
I refer to it at Bowling Green as the glove. Second half rim was broke. I never told anybody, and shots used to go in that had no chance.
So inbound goes to Charles Matthews. Can't hit the shot there, but able to chase it down near midcourt is Duncan Robinson. Another opportunity here for the Wolverines. Driving kick by Matthews. A little show and go that time by the freshly inserted Jerron Simmons, but he's called for the walk. He's a grad transfer from Ohio. He was an All-MAC first teamer last year.
He's 2 years in a row, 15 points a game, and for Ohio University, he transferred after graduating the fifth-year rule and hasn't really found himself yet. You know, it's a totally new system. You don't always play with the ball in your hand in John Beilein's system. I think Simmons is adjusting a bit.
In low it goes to Dwop Reith. Backing in against John Teskey, and he stutter-stepped with it, and so it belongs to the Wolverines.
You know, Teskey has made a big difference. Didn't play hardly at all last year. Came in the Central Michigan game and really turned the game around, doing things like just that. Being big, forcing travels, blocking a shot, tipping balls out. Teskey's been good. He's a typical John Beilein guy that second year gets better, third year better, fourth, it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Coming off of his first career double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds in the comeback win against Southern Miss. Matthews may have gotten away with a little walk, but he knocks down the J.
Well, Will Wade wants it. The referee told him that the ball was bobbled a little bit, thus negating the travel, possible travel.
So 5 early points here for Matthews. And we'll have a whistle.
You know, it's interesting. LSU is really well scouted. And this guy here, Matthews, is just getting buckets. See, the ball got knocked out of his hands, thus negating the travel. But Matthews is going athletically. They're doing a great job of staying on top of Robinson, making it difficult and staying with everybody when Teskey has the ball. This is a weird lineup for Michigan. But this is a really well-scouted team by LSU.
Ibby Watson picking up that last foul for Michigan. So both teams with 3 team fouls. Rashal battling under the offensive glass. Here's Skylar Mays. Darrell Edwards, number 5, also out there on the floor for LSU. Nice move by Mays. Couldn't finish, though.
No, Teskey's length affected that.
Watson.
That's why he's in. He is in to make shots. I was talking to Terry Mills, the radio announcer, former great player of Michigan in the NBA. He said Ibby Watson is making shots. He's going to play, but he's got to make in the game.
Reith working against Teskey. Tough shot, and makes it over the extended reach of Teskey, who stands at 7-1.
That was a really tough shot. And Reith just lifted up. Reith, soccer player, all of a sudden had a growth spurt in high school, and now he's out here from Perth, Australia.
Yeah, before that it was soccer and Australian rules football, his primary endeavors athletically. Matthews just inside the arc. He's feeling good right now.
Yeah, he is, and he's the only guy right now that can go get a shot. You know, you've seen he's not settling for jump shots. He's taking the ball into the middle of the lane, twice in a row, bucket.
7 points here early for Charles Matthews. Reith has to go up and try to get it. He's fouled from behind by Duncan Robinson.
Well, when you're athletic, you can just go in and jump over everybody, and Charles Matthews gives that dimension. But man, oh man, this kid, Dwop Reith over the 7-1 Teskey. This is not easy, people. Don't try it at home.